Prepare your brains. I've been thinking a lot about the music that I listen to lately, and in particular why I'm so obsessed with musical theater. The more I think about it, the more I realize that it really starts in my childhood. Being a child of the 90s, I was born during a huge Disney revival, so that was like my first connection to musicals. I used to pride myself in being able to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and I knew every single Disney soundtrack by heart, and I still know both. So I feel like most people I know fall into this category like I do, where they were born in that time frame, musicals in like cartoon form were very popular, so I was wondering why it stuck with me more than it has with other people I may know, who might still be like super into Disney music, but never really branched out to like Broadway or musical theater or musical in movies kind of thing. So why did it stick with me? I think the first thing that came to mind for me is I think it's kind of wish fulfillment. I think I've mentioned it on this channel before, but I am a musician. I was a musician since early childhood. I've played guitar, I've played drums, I've played various percussion instruments. Unfortunately, I don't have any instruments now because all the instruments I would play would be like bongos or the triangle. So unfortunately, that's not easy to have just in your house or easy to play alone. But I think it's related to that. I love the idea of music just being incorporated in my life, and I think that's related to me being a musician. It was always a big part of who I identified as, who I still identify as. It's a huge like defining factor for me. So the idea of music just being in everyday life, everyday occurrences is incredibly appealing. The second reason that came to mind, and if you watch this channel you probably already know this, I really love movies. I've been watching a lot of movies my entire life. That was always a huge part of like my family life, my childhood. We used to watch a lot of films. Like one of my favorite films of all time when I was a kid was Robin Hood Men in Tights, for example. So like musicals, not just in Disney form, were just like a part of my cultural upbringing when it comes to movies. I've watched a lot of movies about music, for example, like School of Rock when I was a kid. That was so cool, like I love that movie. Just including movies into an art form that I really love just clicks with me really well because it combines two things that I really love. So the gateway that the movies left me was an opening to listen to musicals that I haven't actually seen. I listen to a lot of musicals I haven't actually seen, which I know sounds probably crazy, but unfortunately some of them are very hard to find. I have tried many times. So I still managed to listen to it even though I haven't seen it, and I think movie musicals were kind of a gateway towards that. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I think like the bulk of it, the main reason, is just that I really love stories and I love characters. I realized that it's actually a common thread in most of my music interests. Even if I'm not looking at musicals, just music in general, the songs that I like the most just in like normal music always have stories. I really love a song with a story. That's really interesting to me because I find it's more interesting than just like a basic run-of-the-mill song, because I feel like I'm learning something about a character, I'm learning something about a situation. There's more to look at, which is basically all musicals kind of, it's a prolonged work of art that lets me really dig into the way a certain word is said or sung, or the way the melody changes. All of these things kind of let me get a deeper understanding in the characters, in the plot, in the story, in their backgrounds, and where it's headed, and what they're realizing along the way. Something you guys might not know is I have a big improv background. So my improv background, I think it plays a key role in this. I'm always thinking of things in terms of stories, in terms of arcs, and still in terms of beginning, middle, end. So I think all that background, especially because like music is very incorporated into improv. It can be anyways. So I think that has played a big role in me being super drawn to that type of music. I find musicals achieve a certain level of intimacy, which is really difficult to find in most music. The whole point of it is to share emotion, to share what they're thinking, what they're feeling, And I find we get like a very intimate look into characters, which might not be the case in most like modern or past music. So I think that's why I keep going back to it. I keep listening to the same soundtracks over and over again because I'm finding new things that I hadn't found before. Anyway, that's kind of just like a glimpse into my psyche and what kind of music that I like the most, and I think it says a lot about me as a person. So what is your favorite type of music, and what do you think it says about you? I think that's really interesting, and I'd love to know, so leave us a comment down below. If you like this video, it would be great if you could press the like button and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content like this. I would love to talk more about musical theater if that's something that interests you guys, so let me know, because it's obviously like a pretty big part of what I like. So if you're interested, I'd love to do more. If you want to see our last video, you can click over here. Thanks for watching!